Elimination Chamber live from Sweet Home, Chicago. And it's your boy Icon back with a wrestling review for you. Before we get started, to all my wrestling fans, check out my second YouTube channel because I have a second YouTube channel dedicated strictly to fashion shows. So if you love fun and fashion, it's called Bright Eyes Media. Check out Bright Eyes Media, like and subscribe, and I'll see you there for some more fashion goodness as we head into spring, summer, and beyond. Now, it is spring, thank God. Spring is around the corner. So we're here at the United Center talking about the wrestling, and it kicked off, with the Women's Elimination Chamber match. So it was, who was in this? Asuka, it was Kiana James, the beautiful Kiana James. Unfortunately, Tiffany Stratton, Rhea Ripley was in this, Alexa Bliss, and Raquel Rodriguez. Now, me specifically, Raquel was my pick to win this. Because since we don't have Bianca Belair, because she finally had the surgery on her knuckle because her hand wasn't healing properly on its own, so she finally had the surgery, so that took Bianca out of the running. And we knew that they were trying to do Bianca versus Jade because that was like the biggest match that they could do. Though, had Bianca come back now, I would not have been a fan of it because I would have felt like it would have been too soon for them to do a proper build-up for the two of them fighting. And if they did do the match anyway, then Jade should go over Bianca because Bianca just showed up at the last second. However, Bianca's injured. She couldn't be in it. So then you got it because it's WrestleMania. Like, I understand we all want our favorite wrestlers. We want things. There are certain things that we want. It's not always about what we want when it comes to a show like WrestleMania. It's WrestleMania. You have to do the biggest match that you could possibly do. Star power, is the key. When it comes to Jade Cargill, the two biggest opponents that Jade Cargill could have are Raquel Rodriguez or Rhea Ripley. My whole thing was I picked Raquel because I said it can't be Rhea Ripley because Rhea Ripley is one half of the women's tag team champions. And if you're a tag team champion, you shouldn't be going after singles gold because then that makes the women's tag belts, useless at WrestleMania. And then I was like, if Rhea does win the Elimination Chamber match, then her and Io need to drop those tag titles prior to, before WrestleMania comes around. And that's actually ended up what happened, but we did it in the reverse. So Io and Rhea, they lost the tag titles the day before Elimination Chamber. And once they lost the tag titles, that's when I said, yeah, Rhea's definitely going to win because they got the tag belts off her, which is what they should have done. So I'm happy about that. I just spoiled the ending. Kiana James was the standout as always. I don't know what, they had Tiffany Stratton be one of the last, 2 or 3 people at the Royal Rumble. Then they had her be the final 2 at the Women Elimination. Nobody, stop trying to push Tiffany Stratton. Nobody cares. Nobody's clamoring for Tiffany Stratton. It's we get it. She's blonde. She got a fake tan. And she looked weird, too. That fake tan or whatever the hell's going on. That girl had raccoon eyes. And, the rest of her body was, orange and shit. Whatever she, I mean, like I said, I don't deal in plastic. For me, it's not fantastic. So I'm not a fan of Tiffy Time. But we need to push Kiana James. And I wouldn't be mad. I would actually be in favor at WrestleMania if they do a singles match between Kiana James and Tiffany Stratton because I thought the two of them actually did work very well together. And the two of them together, I think, could have a good feud. Raquel dominated, the entire match. Alexa Bliss was the first one pinned, so her and Charlotte are going to go after the Irresistible Forces for the women's tag team titles. Raquel got a double pin on Kiana James and Asuka. And I think that was the first time we've seen a double pin, because they always tease it. There are always moments in the Elimination Chamber where somebody tries to pin 2 people and it never works. And then one of the announcers always say, gee, that would have been a huge statement if they were able to pin 2 people. And then finally somebody actually pinned 2 people. So Raquel got she got the nod to pin 2 people. And then, Raquel got eliminated, and then once Raquel got eliminated, I said, yeah, Rhea winning this shit. And then that's what happened. We got a Riptide. Thank goodness, she did it to Tiffany. She pinned Tiffany Stratton, and Rhea Ripley's going on to WrestleMania, and she's going to face Jade Cargill. And then when she won, Jade Cargill was she basically was yeah, I guess that'll do. And I started laughing. I thought that was funny. But here's the thing, though. Rhea Ripley's not going to beat Jade Cargill, and I know a lot of people are going to be like, but it's Rhea Ripley. The thing about it is, last year, when Io was going to face Rhea, Bianca Belair won the Women's Elimination Chamber, and she got inserted into that match, despite the fact that Rhea and Io were fighting for a Raw Women's Championship. and Bianca was a SmackDown superstar. She got inserted into the match anyway, but because she's a SmackDown superstar, unless they planned on moving her to Raw, she wasn't going to win the match. And it's the same thing here, because the people that Jade could have fought, those options aren't on the table. So there's a perfectly good candidate in Rhea Ripley who can have a great match with Jade Cargill. But the thing is, Jade Cargill is the SmackDown champion and Rhea's on Raw. So Rhea's not going to win. It's like, okay, so you got somebody from Raw coming over just to fight somebody on SmackDown because the SmackDown champion needs something. It's the same thing with Bianca. Bianca was a SmackDown superstar. She did not win a Raw title. Rhea is a Raw superstar. She's not going to win a SmackDown title. And plus, Jade needs this win, to solidify her monstrous, career. Anyway, they're still teasing something with her and Michin and B-Fab. B-Fab going to turn on Michin. At some point, I see it coming. And if B-Fab turns on Michin prior to WrestleMania, then Jade is definitely going to beat Rhea because of the interference. And then who knows? It might be a situation where B-Fab turns on Michin, B-Fab teams up with Jade Cargill, and then at WrestleMania, Michin ends up joining the group, and she turns on Rhea, and the three of them end up becoming a faction, which I'm actually be okay with that. So, but that was it. So Rhea Bloody Ripley, she's going on to WrestleMania to face Jade Cargill. I'm definitely here for it, and I look forward to it because WrestleMania is shaping up now. And I said I'm definitely here for it, and we'll see what happens, as we progress forward, and we're moving on to the next one. The next match for the Women's Intercontinental Championship, and I'm glad that they're actually putting some respect and prestige on the Women's Intercontinental Championship. AJ Lee versus Becky Lynch. And I thought it was weird that they would do this match in Chicago. I understand, she resides in Chicago. They announced her from Jersey. She's from Jersey, but she resides in Chicago because she married a chick magnet Punk. I understand all that. And I thought that the match was going to end in some sort of disqualification, and then they would do the rematch at WrestleMania. But to my surprise, they flat out just gave AJ the belt, and I'm not upset about that. I'm fine with that. But then it also asks the question, what do we do now? Are they going to do a rematch at WrestleMania? Are we going to insert someone else in the match and make it a three-way? Is Becky even going to wrestle at WrestleMania? Is Becky taking time off and she's just like, screw this, I'm going home for a while? I'm going to be honest, because they just had the match and AJ beat her, I don't want to see them fight again. I would like to see AJ Lee wrestle a fresh opponent. There were so many girls on the Raw women's roster that she could wrestle. She could wrestle Ivy Nile. She could wrestle Lyra. She could wrestle Bayley. I would like to see AJ defend that belt against somebody else. But if Becky bitches about, not getting her contractually obligated rematch, then make it a triple threat. If it's Becky, AJ, and a third person, or it's just AJ and a third person, fine. I don't have nothing against Becky. I'm not too keen on seeing something that I just saw. But like I said, kudos to AJ Lee. It's nice to see her actually win championship gold, and I think this will definitely be enjoyable, be very entertaining. But now we just got to see what they're going to do and what the plan is for WrestleMania, and let's just hope it's not a rematch. So, like I said, kudos to AJ Lee, and we'll see what happens tomorrow on Raw. Next up for the World Heavyweight Championship, CM Punk versus Finn Balor. The fact that Finn Balor went back to his original theme song, that's like the obvious sign he's going to be turning face in the next couple of weeks. And if we do Finn Balor versus Dominic Mysterio, I'm fine with that. And especially if Finn wins the IC belt. Dominic's had that shit since last WrestleMania, and he's defended it twice. So I'll be happy to get that belt off of Dominic Mysterio. However, if I had to choose an Intercontinental title match at WrestleMania, I would choose Penta versus Dominic versus the young OG Javon Evans. But I'm not mad at Dom versus Finn Balor either. CM Punk, we all knew Finn Balor wasn't going to win, so, that's not a spoiler. CM Punk came out with the old Chicago Bulls entrance, and again, I used to be a Bulls fan, as you can clearly see. This is number 33, because growing up as a Chicago Bulls fan, my favorite basketball player of all time is none other than Scottie Pippen. Respect to MJ, but I'm a Pippen fan. But to hear that music, because the thing is, when the crowd went dark, it was just silence, and everybody was like, "Wow, what's going on?" Once you heard that Boom. I was like, oh shit. Because like I said, I used to be a Bulls fan, so I know what that humming sound means. I was like, yo, he's doing the old Chicago Bulls entrance. Before the just by hearing the humming, I knew he was doing that entrance. And it was cool to hear. It was cool to hear that. I said it was cool. I actually missed that old Chicago Bulls entrance, but and again, it was a good match. CM Punk and Finn Balor. So they shook hands when the match was over. Punk got busted in the face, and then when the match was over, I said they shook hands, which solidifies that Finn Balor's definitely turned a babyface. Because Raquel didn't win the Chamber, there's going to be tension between her and Liv. Roxanne, she injured somewhere. AJ came in the ring afterwards to celebrate with Punk and everything. So both of them. Who would have thought like we would see CM Punk and AJ Lee in the WWE as champions? That can only happen because we removed the old regime. So, like I said, kudos to CM Punk. Roman Reigns was hating on Twitter for some apparent reason. It's just like, see, the thing with Roman Reigns is like, because you don't show up, bro, like you can't be tweeting talking that shit because pull up. You know what I'm saying? Like we don't do no Twitter beef. Like how's that song go? I don't do internet beef. I'm on my way. You know what I'm saying? Like we ain't doing no Twitter beef, but I guess he's gonna be there. He's gonna be in Portland on Monday, so we'll see. We'll see what happens. But yeah, CM Punk. This is basically a Chicago spectacle for CM Punk. Like I said, happy to see it, and I look forward to what's gonna happen now on the road to WrestleMania. I don't know what the fuck that is. I don't know who Danhausen is. I don't know what's going on. I am confused. I don't care. And when I saw this ridiculousness, I was just, first of all, that's what was in the box. As soon as I saw it, I said, Jesus Christ, whatever this is, it's going to be a playable character in WWE 2K27. And I was immediately disappointed and depressed by that. I don't know what this is, and honestly, I don't care. And it was Randy Orton, Cody Rhodes, Trick Willie, Javon Evans, LA Knight, and Logan Paul. And I swear to God, Trick Williams is over as fuck. Like, he really is. And Trick is so over at this point, they're probably going to turn him face because the crowd won't stop cheering for him. He got a super long entrance, which I loved for him. He stood on top of the pod and did the whoop that trick. Javon Evans came into the same thing. Like, everybody loves Javon Evans. I love Javon Evans, young OGZ. And it's obvious that Javon, Trick, Oba, Lash Legend, eventually Kalani Jordan when she gets called up, Lola Vice, Kiana James. Like, it's clear that they're coming. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're already here, but they're coming. Like, the heat is on. Unfortunately, this wasn't their time to shine, though, because for some weird reason, Logan Paul eliminated everybody. He pinned Trick. He pinned Javon. He pinned LA Knight. And the thing is, I don't like the fact that Michael Cole was like, oh, this is such a historic, run for Logan Paul. He's eliminated 4 or 5 people so far. It doesn't count if someone else does all the work and you steal the pin. It's not like Logan Paul was beating everyone's ass and pinned them to the mat on his own. He was basically just picking the bones from other people's hard work. That doesn't count. But it came down to Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes, obviously. And after Trick got eliminated, he took a long time to kind of get out of the cage. LA Knight slipped off the top rope, whatever. But then while they were trying to get Trick out the cage, then the Masked Man showed up again, and then they got the Masked Man out of the ring. He attacked Logan Paul and hit him with a stomp. After they eliminated Logan Paul and got him out of the ring, thanks to Seth Rollins, because when Seth Rollins hit the stomp, like Cody pinned him, then Drew McIntyre came out of nowhere and bust Cody in the back of the head with the championship belt. And this is the part where I was disappointed in Cody Rhodes, because when Drew got in the ring and interfered, he got hit with an RKO, then Drew got hit with a Crossroads, and then after Cody stood up, he walked into an RKO, and I'm like, bro, you should know better than that. I understand Randy, your boy, like you and Randy are friends, you're like, Randy's my mentor and all this other. I'm like, come on, son, you knew the RKO was coming. You got too close. You got way too close, and you paid the price, and Randy Orton's going to WrestleMania now at the expense of Cody Rhodes. And I felt bad because I was just like, well, if we're getting Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton, what's Cody Rhodes going to do now? Does he just fight Jacob Fatu? But Jacob doesn't really have beef with Cody. It's more beef with Drew. And then we got to the post show. We get to the post show, and in the post show, Nick Aldis, he ran up on Drew and he was like, I told you not to get involved with the matches and blah, blah, blah. This is the last straw. So he said, Friday night on SmackDown, you're going to defend the WWE Championship against Cody Rhodes. And I was like, oh, okay. So basically what's going to happen now, Cody's going to win the belt against Drew McIntyre, probably due to some Jacob Fatu interference. Cody's going to win the belt on SmackDown, and then we're going to get Randy Orton versus Cody Rhodes one-on-one at WrestleMania, which is the match that everybody kind of wanted from the beginning. And then we're going to get Drew McIntyre versus Jacob Fatu. Or, due to the intense interference between all parties involved, we're going to get a fatal four-way. My thought is we're getting Drew versus Jacob, and then we're getting Cody versus Randy. Perfectly fine with that if that happens. I have no issues with that whatsoever. But that was how Elimination Chamber ended, and thank you for tuning in. So that's how WrestleMania is shaping up. So we got our, all of our championship matches are kind of set. But like I said, when it's all said and done after this Friday, it's going to be Cody Rhodes. It's going to be Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton one-on-one, and then Drew McIntyre versus Jacob Fatu. I'll be a little surprised, but not really, if they decide to do the fatal four-way. But I just need to know, like, Oba better fight Brock. Like, we better get Oba and Brock. Trick Williams. I thought Trick was gonna fight Randy at WrestleMania, but I don't know what Trick Williams does now. I hope they don't do Trick and Carmelo for the U.S. title, because I feel like it's too soon, and I feel like we got to let Melo rock a little bit. And it's not that Trick isn't. It's not that Trick is too big for the U.S. title picture. Trick needs a bigger win against, like, a big name opponent. Maybe he'll fight Sami Zayn now at this point. I don't know. But share your questions, comments, and concerns down below as we start the official road to WrestleMania in 6 weeks. And I look forward to bringing you the wrestling with all of you. Check me out on social media. Check me out on Instagram, on X, on TikTok, and YouTube, where you can leave your questions, comments, and concerns. Again, check out my second YouTube channel, Bright Eyes Media, for all your fashion desires. And like I said, we're on the road to WrestleMania, so I look forward to bringing you everything. I'll bring you my WrestleMania predictions, and we'll also review nights 1 and 2 when WrestleMania comes out. Check out my reviews for Bridgerton. Bridgerton is back. We're going to do some Bridgerton, and I got Wonder Man up there as well for you comic book Marvel fans. So that was it, guys. So thanks for tuning in as always. Until next time for some more wrestling action. Take care, and we're out this bitch.